Everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process. So I'm going to do a quick reading for this week, which is Wednesday. No, it's not. It's Tuesday, the 6th of April right now, I think. 4, 5, 6, yeah. So, and before I do the cards, I just want to share what I've been guided to find out on this crazy journey that we're on. I'm putting belly fat in the title of this video because I know a lot of people have the same symptoms and they are, not understanding it and why it happens and maybe a bit confused and want some answers. So I'm just going to share what I've been told about all this. So as you know that I've put out some food videos because they've been guiding me since mid last year into like changing my diet and things like that, and finding out about stresses in the body that cause disease. So you might want to look at those as well because that's got some good information in. Just take what you need. You don't have to take anything that you don't on board. But certainly some of the stuff I found out, on about the science of how the body works is really interesting. I'm going to put 2 links below to videos. There's loads out there where you can do your own research. I always like to watch a few videos, then I go to the PubMed or I go to the NCIMB, I think it's called, where you can drag up the science, the testing onto your, into your computer, and you can look at the tests they've done and the science behind everything they talk about in the videos on YouTube. So it's just quite fascinating. Like, I studied yoga for years, so I did lots of study into physiology then. And also, I went to a dissection at Guy's Hospital, so I looked inside the body and all that kind of stuff. And I find it very fascinating how the body works, so particularly for me. But, just have a little look if you feel like it, because there is science to back up everything that I mention in those food videos and what I'm going to mention here. So, firstly, I had some really funny things happen in terms of my twin over the past week, I think it is, maybe week and a half. In regard to, well, let me just explain it because it's really interesting, right? So, years and years ago, when we were in touch, so we're going back maybe 2005, 6, something like that. We were sitting having a conversation and we were facing each other, and I mentioned something that he didn't like, and I saw his eyes flash. So I saw his pupils dilate, or the opposite, pupils contract. Which is a sign of stress. It means that you're activating your fight or flight, which I've only recently found that out. I didn't know it meant something. I knew he was getting angry, but I didn't know how that related, right? So there was that years ago. So what happened was recently I got angry about something, and as I was getting angry, I could feel my blood boiling, and I felt that happen to me, right? My pupils contract, but I seemed to hold the anger down, and I didn't manifest it into any kind of action or anything like that. So it's just interesting how that came about, and I recognised that inside myself, my response to a trigger and anger coming up, and the management of that anger, the management of that, therefore the stress response, right? Because anger is a stress response. The other thing that happened was I was wanting to download something, and it was a TV show or something like that, and I didn't have enough room on my computer, so I was looking at how I could kind of manipulate a little bit of iCloud storage or something like that, and maybe add that on rather than have to buy some. And I suddenly found out, I don't know how I ended up there, but I ended up on Google Drive, and I found that I had this storage with Google Drive, and in that storage there was all these things, which is really weird because I didn't remember ever putting anything in Google Drive or even knowing I had it. So there were very small pictures, like smaller than the size of my little fingernail, with some of these things like attachments. So as I looked through them, scrolled down, and I came across this line, and it was a small picture. And as I looked at it, I was like, I know that's him. Why have I got that stored on a Google Drive? So without even thinking what I was doing, I clicked on it and it opened up and it was massive on the screen and it was him. And it was him and he was sat with his karmic ex. And I felt fight or flight. It was like that shock response that you get, right? Oh my God, that it was like right in front of me and really big. And I've not seen him for years, or a picture of him for years or anything like that. So I went into fight or flight and I just noticed how my body changed with that stress, that stressor of seeing him again. It was a really big stressor, right? And there's something else about that as well that I just say, because all through this journey, I've been given signs from him in pictures. So if I go back to like when I first found him again after 2012, when I was brought into service on this journey, and went back to get him, and he was not there and all that kind of stuff. But I found where he was very synchronistically, and then so from then I started to see pictures on his karmic ex's Facebook page of him. So it went through a trajectory, right? So it was like, first of all, he looked happy with her, and then he looked really downtrodden. He looked angry. He looked like, there was one where he's like pulling away from her, like he couldn't stand her. There was another where he looked like he'd resigned himself to it, like he looked like he was the Walking Dead. Resigned himself to being with her, the Walking Dead. And then it went from there to where he broke up with her. And I came across a picture of him with his family where it looked like he was just very subdued and kind of beaten down, but, in a recovery process emotionally, because she was a big old narc, this karmic. And funnily enough, this picture that popped up, he looked like really strong, really happy. It was before it's kicked off, like narcissists love bomb you first, and then they come out with a clause. So it must have been the love bombing phase where she was sat next to him, and he looked like really powerful and really strong. So it's just a sign of where he's got to emotionally. So I know that he's nearly ready, and he's given me these signs all through photos of himself that have cropped up, and so that was also very interesting. And then but mainly I got that stress response, right? And I've been through all this stuff with the body and the healing and everything, and the last one I said, it was about the insulin resistance and how that manifests. So what happened at the weekend was I had some, I can't even remember how it happened, because it's like I kind of go into a trance and then I just find myself doing something and I don't know how I got there, because it's just like I'm being guided into doing it. So I don't actually know how I got to do this, but I was online and I was looking up food related stuff again, because I'm on this journey now to like fully heal what I've been through. And I'd learned about the insulin, I'd learned about eating more fat and less carbs, and then I came across this stuff about where I'm looking at manipulating the diet a bit more, and the exercise and the routine and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's it. I had gone down the weekend before to eating 2 meals a day in the space of 4 hours, as opposed to 3 meals a day in the space of 8 hours. So I just reduced my eating window yet again. And then from that, on the Monday, I pushed it out to 1 meal a day, and which feels really great. I love just eating that 1 meal a day. But I don't remember it kind of a conscious decision. It just kind of happened that I was doing it, and it's really made a difference to how I feel. Of course, I had to ease into it because I had to become fat adapted over the past 6 months, from like last October to the end of this March is 6 months of becoming fat adapted and reducing the eating window down. So that kind of happened. So 1 meal a day, and on top of that, once I'd started doing that, it was again I was looking at menopause and eating. I was actually looking at which fast is better for menopausal women, because I'm post-menopause, and I came across all this other stuff, right? So every time I pull up a video and I get something, I've got to then go to the science, because a lot of the time they just tell you what to do, like they're barking orders at you, but they don't tell you why you got to do it. So when I started looking into the science and everything, and I was finding out about the estrogen, right, xenoestrogens, which I kind of knew about anyway, which are like the fake estrogens in the third dimension that cause fat retention. So I found out all about that. So These videos I put down below, I've got about that. But then what I found out about was cortisol and the cortisol response and how you store fat through stress. So when I found that out, and one of the videos I put down below, Dr. Berg, listen to that one, because when they're taking me through this journey of healing, which is like insulin, and that's not in regard to type 1 diabetes, because that, you know, that's a different thing completely, but this is like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and everything else, right, all these Alzheimer's. Everything, when it boils down to it, is actually about the stress response. So even beyond, you know, looking at your blood sugar, you've got to look at your stress. And that's really where cortisol makes you store fat in your visceral organs, around your visceral organs. So that's where you get that belly fat that you can't shift, right? No matter how much you diet, because it's in your visceral organs, it's about stress and it's about estrogen. And it's a revelation, right? Finding all this out. I mean, I feel like I knew it anyway, but do you know what? I knew it years ago because I studied these things when I was doing yoga. But then once I'd studied the yoga and got into doing that, even though I was still doing some study, I was stressed out. And why was I stressed out? Because of this journey. This journey stresses you out more than anything, doesn't it? It stresses you out when you see them with someone else. It stresses you out when they're not coming back when you're told they're coming back by your guides. It stresses out because you don't know what's going on and you're in like separation and you're stuck. It feels like you're stuck because your life isn't moving. I mean, the amount of time I've got these tarot cards and I've thrown them across the room. Actually, not these are a new pack. Because the old pack, I threw them across the room, I put them in the bin and I covered them with water. So I had to chuck them out because I've been so angry. I had a tarot card box. It was a nice little wooden box. I threw it across the room. I was so angry from what these cards have been telling me about him coming back one night. Because I was, you know, it's really stressful when you're told it's going to be the next thing. It's going to be the next thing. It's going to be the next thing. And so it's like what you really need to heal on this journey when it comes down to it, and what's making you store fat is your stress response. And not only that, because like I say, the connection between me and my twin and the fact that I saw his eyes flash and then I felt my eyes flash, and that's a direct response of you going into fight or flight, that him and the picture of him and him looking stronger and him looking happy made me go into a stress response. So it's a sign. When you come back together after a long separation, it's going to be a stress response in both of you. So before you can come back into that separation, you're going to be guided to heal that stress level and that stress response and to make your body function better around that. Not only that, but if you're feeling like you don't look right, you know, I've done readings for people, they don't like the way they look because they're storing fat like I was doing. It's the stress response. And I know I've told people in readings, it'll go before this comes back, but it will go before this comes back because you watch this and you listen to this and you understand about the stress response. So if you listen to me, everything I tell you is also about me is also about you, right? So that's basically what it was that I found out. So I put those videos down below so you can listen to that and understand that. And you know, I say I'm not giving you advice or guidance around what to do about it, but there's plenty of information out there that you can look at yourself and do your own research if you want to and understand why that's happening. So the stress response, it's to do with the journey itself, right? It's to do with that person that you're connected to, the stress that you were in when you were connected and when you were triggered by them all the time. It's to do with the stress of the separation. The other thing that I had last night, this morning, I had a really weird and horrible dream, which was a friend of mine from childhood who I no longer see was having an affair with my twin. And was in that narcissistic, really like, well, this is fine, you shouldn't be worried, you know, this isn't about you, shouldn't be worried about this. And I was so angry in the dream at her for like having anything to do with him, and she hadn't told me either. And then I said, well, didn't he have a message for me? Wasn't there a message for me? And she said, oh, you've had your message. And the message was this suitcase, and the suitcase was open. On the lid of the suitcase on the inside it said, hello, Hazel. And it had some weird symbols on there as well. So it was just a really weird dream, and I woke up feeling like, ooh, get away from me, get your hands off him as well, kind of a feeling, you know. So it also triggered something that was like, he's mine, he's nobody else's. Again, which is a really weird thing when you're not seeing someone for 15 years, and I barely think about him these days. So it's all coming again through signs and synchronicities and not through conscious a conscious level. All right, so that's it with me and what I had to tell you about that. I think let's just have a look, see what the energy's like for this week. Anything else we need to know around twin flame separation, twin flame process. Seven of Cups, which is emotion. Seven of Cups, emotions. The moon. Have we got a moon coming? I think we're coming full at the end of this week, aren't we? Yeah, I think it's the 13th, something like that. So that would it be the end of this week? Oh, I don't know. Actually, it might be the 11th. Anyway, moon. Ace of Pentacles, brand new beginning. Well, moon also represents psyche, so it represents the light and dark half, masculine and feminine, and the mind and the heart. And the body. The body in between, right? So there's the body in between, the person in between, the mind and the heart. So maybe we're looking at their the mind-body connection, I feel. Emotions, mind-body connection, brand new beginning in the physical world. So again, could be understanding the stress response that's going on inside your body. And the major stressor is the one that can't be seen, because the moon is what's unseen. The major stressor is the journey itself, you know. Let's have a look. Two of Cups. This is two people. Well, it's a connection. It's a twin flame connection, the Two of Cups. So it's like how you connected emotionally. It's two of you. Cups is emotion, so it's how you connected emotionally. So like I say, when I'm guided to feel the stress coming through me, stress coming through him. And remember I said before as well about, they told me about the potassium levels and the heart palpitations and the anxiety and all that kind of stuff. So there's all that connection through the body as well. Talked about the connection in the body before, in the two twins. Justice, getting it right, bringing things into harmony, bringing things into balance. What's right, basically, is what justice is. And then 6, which is letting go of fear. Oh, okay, I get it, right? So it's like I say, I've had the stress response come through me. That's his stress response. This whole journey, it's not just your stress, it's their stress as well, because the whole journey is about releasing the ego. It's a violent journey, right, of going up and down, lower self, higher self, and then coming back into some kind of balance. But as you come back into balance, every time you go through that, it's like you've been through a war, right? And like they've shown me before, the masculine going through the astral wars. It's like the masculine goes through a war in response to this journey as well, and the masculine comes through you, and you feel that come through you, that anger and that stress in regard to this. So letting go is about letting go of the stress response here, letting go of what hurts the mind. The swords is the mind. So it's getting you ready for physical union, physical, brand new, letting go, mind. Connected through the emotions, mind connected to emotions, getting it right, what can't be seen, mind-body connection. What we've got here, High Priestess, that's just higher information around the physical journey that we're getting, around how things begin again in the physical. So it's like you're going to get some stress relief this week. You will be getting some understanding around your stress response. You'll be feeling better, I feel, but let's see what comes out here. Transformation, mind-body connection, transformation, getting it right. So what can you do to get it right? Meditate, eat better, and that is properly better, not government guidelines better. Look at your stress levels, stress support. They're guiding me as well into like getting support for the endocrine system, herbal support, and I boiled it down. You might want to look at, there's loads of them out there. Boiled it down to 2 now. It was 3. It was rhodiola, ashwagandha, and Korean ginseng, panax, because those 3 have got like really, they do nearly everything. Like you'll get some hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal support, but they don't have everything. These 3 have nearly everything. Rhodiola I ruled out because it had 1 less activity than the other 2. The other 2 are pretty much the same, but I think I'm coming out on the side of ashwagandha. But anyway, there's loads out there, but those seem to be the 3 look like they do the most. Shisandra as well looked like another good one. But anyway, you might want to look into that, getting stress support, because this is a stressful journey. Wounded warrior, number 9, the masculine, right? Emotions of the masculine. You're getting the stress support, not just for you, you're getting it for them. So you're bringing in what is best for them, what is right for them emotionally. It's not something like, yes, you can have a question around this and you can be like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. Do I want to do that? I really rather just let go of them. The thing is, look, let go there. It's like the journey is a let go that you go through. It's an automatic let go. So the let go takes care of itself, right? You understanding that you have to let go makes you let go, because you know the journey is about letting go. But the coming back is also what happens as well. It comes back to you. So then it's like, well, you know, if you're going to do this in a willful manner, this journey, if you're going to have any self-will in it at all, then use your willpower for what is actually valuable in the physical dimension, which is getting things right in the physical dimension, what is right for the physical body in the physical dimension. You know, it's like a journey of self-discovery, this whole journey. Wisdom, hermit, is lying underneath, getting it right. And then we've got 4 right now in the physical dimension. Getting it right now. Wisdom, let's see what goes on that hermit. And creating, that's the Ace of Wands, so it's creating new things. There's a certain amount of challenge the body needs as well, is what they've been telling me. It's called hormesis, when I found out about that. And it's like your body needs to be put on a certain, there's 2 types of stresses: good stress, bad stress. Eustress, de-stress. This journey is distressing. Eustress is good stress. Good stress is things like doing HIIT exercise for 20 minutes, putting your body under mild stress. It's doing things like fasting and putting your body under mild stress. It makes your body function better. It makes it burn that fat that you put on your belly, right? Because you can burn visceral fat through deactivating the stress response. You deactivate the stress response by activating the good stress, something like that, all right? So look at that as well. Be proactive. They're saying be proactive about your physical body and your physical environment. Look at the xenoestrogens, the things on the inside of tin cans, the BPP, the plastic that we eat out of, the fake foods, processed foods, the perfumes, all these perfumes that people use, the air fresheners. You probably know that already, that's really bad for you. It's fake estrogen, so it pumps up your estrogen in your body, and it means your body estrogen takes over, and estrogen causes fat as well in the visceral organs. So look at that. Emotions, reunion. So you're getting it ready for reunion. It's preparing the nest, right? Look at the bird. It's preparing the nest for reunion with emotions. Stress response, getting it right in the physical body right now. Wounded warrior, 2 connected energetically. So use your power. Your power is your authority over your physical life. It's not dwelling in the wishy-washy energy of spiritual but not physical. It's owning the physical reality and your body and the physical reality, and you and your physical reality, and taking some power back by growing some wisdom, right? Creating wisdom. So not just the things I'm saying, maybe it's something else that's bothering you in your physical body. What I found fascinating, that in the video, Dr. Berg down there, everything that's the modern type of metabolic syndrome disease comes from stress. It's all kicked off by stress. Everything. So, because if you get the good stress up, it also fights off the fake estrogens. Because there's receptors in your body, and you're either going to get the fake estrogen attaching to it, or the bad stress attaching to it, or the good stress attaching to it. Good stress comes from wisdom and power. So look. Create, physical world, brand new beginning, physical. Everything you do on this journey, right, when you create something new, is creating the reunion. So when you are focused into the physical dimension and you're creating a new energy in the physical dimension by doing something that's brand new to you, it could be skiing, it could be taking a really long walk if you've never taken a long walk before. It could be going out in the garden and doing the gardening if you've never done that before. It could be cooking, it could be reading, it could be dancing, it could be singing, it could be anything. And it doesn't have to be in an organised manner, it just has to be, you know, if it's singing, it's putting on a song and singing along to it in a really, you know, full out and full on, and doing something new, and like really getting involved in the physical dimension and starting to create. You create new energy by doing new things in the physical dimension, right? It sets you free. So what can you do in the physical dimension to set you free? By creating your, it's like you create yourself anew. And the physical body itself is absolutely prime for that, because you can create all your cells anew, right? If you do the fasting, you can create all your cells anew. It's called autophagy. It's eating the body. You eat the old dead cells and you create brand new cells in place of them. So you're creating yourself anew, creating new physical dimensions, something right here. You're going to live forever, right? Twins are here for the long haul. They've told me that before, so it's like you've got to set the ball in motion as well. If you're not doing these things already, if you're not looking after your physical body already, get on with it. Because the sooner you get on with that, the sooner you get on with your reunion. 4, mind, high priestess, higher information, let that flow through the mind as well. You know, create new. There's another thing, right? So just explain this, because you know, it sounds a bit conflicting, doesn't it, when I say I go on YouTube and I listen to things and then I go and look at the science, because it's like, well, if it's all vibrational, why do you need to do that? Because they send you signs and synchronicities every day through everything you do. So, and YouTube is a really great place for finding loads of different opinions on one thing, loads of different viewpoints from loads of different people that study these things, and then and then go into the science that's online that you pull up, can clarify. You know, because some people are biased one way or another. Some people haven't fully done their research. Some people, like I say, they just bark it at you, but they don't explain why. So, you know, it's just it's actually the activity of doing it that's the good thing. So the activity of me doing that is really good, because it puts me in a place where my brain is doing something that is an activity that's good for my brain, that's not thinking about my twin. It's not feeling sad and depleted. It's not just looking at my belly and feeling worn out. It's not feeling stress about being here. Every time I get an aha moment, it's like, aha, wow, that's amazing. So it's like, do something with your mind that creates that inside of you, right? Inside your mind. And the other thing is, there's signs and synchronicities. This is so weird. This is the other thing that happened, right? Because I'm post-menopause now. And we got to kind of forget about, well, I can't go into it too depth because it's a vast subject, but my estrogens dropped right down, right? So before I went on that carnivore last year and the keto and everything, I had in my fridge a big bottle of cold pressed organic flaxseed oil that I'd been using occasionally as part of my whole food diet. And with this OMAD, because I'm only eating in a small one meal a day, it's to get all the fat I need. I can't be eating lots and lots of food, because just my stomach can't handle loads of food to get all the nutrients. So what I started doing was taking I was having actually about a dessert spoonful of olive oil, cold pressed obviously, a dessert spoonful of this flaxseed oil, and a couple of other oils, and to make sure I get my fat content up. And within 4 days of this, my hot flashes have gone down to nothing, basically. I think I had 2 yesterday, 2 hot flashes in place of where I was having 10 a day. And that's not including at night, where I have a few where I wake up in the middle of the night. So none last night in sleep, but nothing at all in sleep, actually. There's been since then. And 2 yesterday. Today, I've had 1. But that was after my coffee, so that's to be expected, because I've learned that that's a vasodilator, so that will make you hot flash even sometimes if you don't have hot flashes. Anyway, the flaxseed, right? So after I'd not had hot flashes for 3 days on this, I just knew. I knew it was the flaxseed oil, and as soon as I knew that, I was on my YouTube and I was looking at things. 3 videos jumped out at me, all telling me that flaxseed oil was the answer, because it contains phytoestrogens and they are the antidote to low estrogen. And they jumped out of me, these 3 people that I'd never seen before on YouTube, giving me that information, and I was like, oh my God, that's it, that's the answer. So it's that's why, all right, because you get sign synchronicities. It's not just about the twin, it's about everything, and it's about fulfilling your destiny in this 3rd dimension that we're in, to be in power of the 3rd dimension, and to own that there are signs and synchronicities about everything you're going through. in this life that you're in that can lead you into a better place. That's when you're hooking into source, right? Is when you're using the third dimension to your advantage. So you're not looking at YouTube and thinking, oh, that's all riddled with fear. You're looking at it, well, what can it tell me? What can it give me? What can I grow through this? Growing, right? Third dimension. Taking your power back. All right, let's have a look. Energy moving forward, King of Wands on the 2, you see. So it's the 2 people through what is like the emotions and up-leveling, the feeling inside the people that are connected into a feeling good energy, right? Where things move forward into the physical dimension. I am over this. You know, there's this like, this is beyond like, I'm over this twin flame journey. I don't want to be doing it anymore. I hate it. I want it to go away. I'm just over it. That's stress, right? That's de-stress. That's being in distress of it. Owning it and powerfully owning it is, yeah, I'm over it because something's coming next and I feel amazing. And look at me take my power over how I feel in this physical dimension. Because how you feel is down to your stress response. And how you manage stress and how you understand stress and how you work with overcoming and stress. And guided into that you will be, because I've been guided into it. Because you've got to guide, you have to be, because this journey is stressful. How can you come back together and be together without, first of all, eliminating the fight-flight response from the connection, to a certain extent at least. Let go here. Let's have a look. Finish the world, completion, end of the journey, right? So it's a thorough, it's like the energy just feels like it's, I mean, I know every time they say it's like a rollover week, right? We're rolling forward. But it's like we're rolling forward into so much more clarity and understanding. And I really feel like this stuff they're giving me about the stress. Because it's like when you're in this journey that you're going through, which is like, some people would say this is imaginary, right? The moon, it's what you can't see. But the body connection to the mind thing and the emotion thing that you're going through is a real thing. It's not imaginary. And part of that stress is the illusion of it, right? It's like you can't see what's going on, but it's affecting you. So totally. Emotions, feeling good, happiness and joy, right? So I know we talk about that a lot, like finding more happiness and joy. And I know when I say it, I know some of you are like, you look at it and you're like, well, how can I do that? How can I do that with what I'm going through? I can't find happiness and joy. This journey is absolute hell. It is, right? It is hell. It's really stressful. But if you can find the answers to the stress response, then maybe you can be in more happiness and joy. Get some support for your adrenals. Learn about the stress responses if you don't already understand them, because they're in you and they're in your twin. And if you can calm that down in you and get some power around understanding it and taking something for it, herbs, basically, essential oils, food, the right food, then you are supporting your journey. Transformation, death, and ending in the tower. So the ending of the transformation. So again, we are getting closer and closer to the point of reconciliation, emotions, 2 moving together energetically on the end of the wounded warrior, coming to completion, emotionally moving it forward. So I really just feel like this emotional thing, this stress response is like, it's the last thing. How many times have I said it's the last thing before clearing? I must have said that about 1,000,000 times, right? But I know it's, we're getting down to the wire. Let's have a look. Dark to light. And of course, every time you understand more of how the physical dimension is working in relation to you, you are in more power. And again, like these fight estrogens and everything, and is like is coming through the narcissistic spectrum, because it's all the ways in which they pollute the world, really, you know, with fake things. And, you know, like Teflon and all that kind of stuff. Exactly. So let's have one more on there. Clarity, Knight of Swords. So like I say, it's creating the clarity inside of you. Like I said before, emotions coming and going, coming back as well. And then we've got destiny, judgment on that. It's like, it's everything, yeah, it's an illusion, right? So we're not really human. I love to add this at the end, actually. we're not really human. We're Pleiadian, probably, most of us. I know I am. Whilst we're human, we're controlled by vibration, the vibrational axis, right? So yeah, it's all an illusion. But the clarity of understanding how we work this vibrational reality and the physical body, the power that's within that clarity and that understanding that we can gain is the power of living in this dimension. So it's all got a, when people talk about the spirituality, they want to take you away from your physical life a lot of the time. Fruition in the physical life, vibration. They want to take you into like this monastery where all you do is focus on not being here, but focus on being here. 10 of Pentacles, completion in the physical is what we're here for. It's to take the power into the, it's to own our lives, resistance. So if you're walking around, feeling depleted and feeling shocked, feeling, low energy, that kind of stuff. It's about the hormones, basically. Understanding how hormones work. Go with the flow. It's not an overnight fix. Guidance. So spirit helps. Vibrations is about successful vibration. Your vibration related to your physical body, right? So like they say, there's a certain amount you can raise your vibration, but then you've also got to raise your physical body to raise your vibration, because you've got to be feeling good in your physical body, right? The two things come about synchronistically. So you'll be guided through to understand your physical body, and that's going to then put you in a better vibration. And then maybe you'll be guided into more vibration because you're understanding the signs and synchronicities that can come through the physical dimension that help you heal your physical body. So it's like a hand-in-hand thing. Balance 6, right? Balance 6. Anything else? Mind, Queen of Swords, feminine mind. Use your mind. Use your mind for yourself. Don't use your mind for anything else. 10 of Cups, which is completion emotionally. And then you'll be feeling much better emotionally. So that's like, it is wisdom. Again, popping out. Wisdom, learning, understanding. Gaining wisdom. Study. We're in the study portal. So that's it, right? I'm going to leave it at that for this week, and see you next time. I probably won't put out any individual mood readings. I don't know. I've got to see. I've still got so much study to do. So much study. It's taken up all day yesterday, all day the day before. Of just like reading and listening and stuff. So I've got quite a lot to do, but we'll see how it goes. All right, lots of love. Take care. If you wanted to get a personal reading, anything like that, description, information is in the box below. Take care. Bye.